Coming up on First at 4, a community action group in Letcher County is getting a $1 million grant. We'll tell you where that money is going. And Governor Beshear awards more than $1 million to repair flood damage in 3 eastern Kentucky counties.
And our cold front already pushing through the area and temperatures are tumbling. I'll have the latest on our roller coaster coming up. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, 10 counties in eastern Kentucky are getting a piece of the recently announced $9 million in abandoned mine land economic revitalization program funds. One of them is Letcher County, and WYMT's Chas Jenkins tells us where that money is going.
Those with Cowan Community Action Group receiving $1 million in funds, wanting to expand the city's farmers market.
Cowan is excited to be a part of the strong community, and our main goal is to grow a stronger and healthy community. And that community is a wide range. It reaches far beyond the Cowan Community Center.
Expanding in a variety of ways, including cold storage, commercial equipment, and a food truck, just to name a few.
We'll have places that we can put our prices up. We'll be able to show what we've got and expose it easier and make it a whole lot nicer for us, the sellers, and as well as the customers that come by.
Made possible through the continued support from the city of Whitesburg.
Who have been a tremendous support and provided this space and financial support to the market over these years.
Brighter days ahead for a small town market. In Whitesburg, Chas Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Horn says the main goal for the action group is to make the market permanent rather than seasonal. Some good news for 3 eastern Kentucky counties today. Governor Andy Beshear announcing an award for more than $1.1 million for Johnson, Morgan, and Lawrence counties. They were hit hard by historic flooding back in March, facing heavy damage that the community has to deal with long after the floodwaters receded this past spring.
These counties and communities are already spending their money helping people to get back on their feet. This is where the state can come in, can help them pay that local match, which of course goes directly into aid, but then adds all those federal dollars on top.
Governor Beshear also said some of the announced funding will go towards improving road safety.
We saw some rain today, not nearly as much rain as that, but our cold front brought with it not just rainfall, but much cooler temperatures as well. Camera from the University of Virginia at Wise, a couple of rounds of rainfall there as it moved in. We may be having some issues with the frame there, that last frame, but you can still see the overcast with us in parts of southwest Virginia. Contrast that with what's going on out in the Cumberland Valley. I-75 in Mount Vernon. Blue sky, a little bit of sunshine as we finish out our Thursday. We're starting to see a little bit of clearing as that whole area of rainfall continues to push off to the east. Low 40s, though, right now for many of us, even Wise checking in at 39. Though we are getting a little bit of sunshine back. Irvin's at 46, so Somerset and Monticello checking in at 47. So we're getting a little warmer. There's that cold front, the back edge of which is currently working through parts of Pike and Letcher County and even into Dickinson and Buchanan counties in Virginia. That's moving on out, and we're already starting to see the clear skies into the Cumberland Valley. So we're going to see this clearing trend continue overnight. Keep that WYMT weather app handy, because as we clear out, we are going to drop those temperatures big time. You think it's cool out there right now. Wait until we bring the 30s back in, and maybe even some upper 20s by the time you wake up on our Friday morning. Some moderation, though, on the way, and I'll have details on that coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. President Joe Biden signed 3 bipartisan bills into law today aimed at helping first responders. The Protect America's First Responders Act aims to improve firefighters, EMTs, and law enforcement officials disabled in the line of duty to have access to benefits. The Cops Counseling Act establishes a peer support program for law enforcement officers, and the Federal Officers and Employees Protection Act closes a loophole aiming to make it easier to bring people who have killed or tried to kill federal officials serving abroad to the U.S. for trial. Governor Andy Beshear signed an executive order yesterday expanding COVID-19 booster eligibility to all Kentucky adults. And a pending decision from the FDA could mean all states without those orders already in place may soon be able to follow suit. Meanwhile, the Biden administration announced it had purchased 10 million courses of Pfizer's experimental COVID antiviral drug. CBS's Anthony Pura has the latest from Los Angeles.
FDA authorization for a Pfizer booster shot for all adults could come at any time. The drug maker filed for authorization last week. The CDC would still need to sign off on the plan.
CDC will quickly review the safety and effectiveness data and make recommendations as soon as we hear from FDA.
Some states aren't waiting. This morning, Massachusetts became the latest one to approve boosters for anyone over 18.
If you were already vaccinated 6 months or more ago and eligible for a boost, get a boost.
The move comes as breakthrough infections surge across the country. Minnesota is one of the hot spots.
All 13 beds are COVID again. Looks just like it did a year ago, in December.
And while the main focus remains on vaccination, President Biden announced his administration has purchased 10 million courses of Pfizer's antiviral COVID-19 pill, Paxlovid, to reduce the risk of severe illness for people infected with COVID. The drug still needs FDA authorization. Anthony Pura, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The White House announced yesterday that nearly 10% of 5 to 11-year-olds in the U.S. have received their first dose of the vaccine since that group became eligible earlier this month. CVS is planning to close hundreds of its stores. The pharmacy chain says it will close 300 locations each year for the next 3 years. This comes as CVS restructures to focus more on primary health care. Certain stores are becoming health hubs that focus on clinical services and health products. CVS says employees impacted by the closings will be offered positions elsewhere in the company. The changes are slated to start in 2022. If you're looking to shop at Victoria's Secret this holiday season, you might be out of luck. The lingerie company says nearly 50% of its holiday merchandise is stuck in transit. Victoria's Secret ordered 200 million items for its fourth quarter sales period, but about half of those items are caught up in the supply chain issues and backlogs at U.S. ports. The company's CEO says 100 ships carrying products are anchored at ports, but they have not come ashore. So they're using air freight to get products to stores, but that still takes about 9 days. Victoria's Secret's just one example of retailers' concerns as they anticipate record holiday sales. While many still expect record profits, the holiday boom may not be as merry for small businesses. Competition with giants like Amazon and Walmart is always complicated for small sellers. Since COVID hit, many major retailers ramped up e-commerce and soared to record profits, spending big to charter ships and circumvent supply chain bottlenecks. Measures that are not possible for small business owners like Allie Kirkpatrick, who owns a bookstore in Virginia.
Can't compete with Amazon or some other super high volume suppliers. I don't buy 20,000 copies of a book and I can't negotiate for that lower price.
Kirkpatrick rented an annex for extra inventory, shipping and receiving in hopes of keeping up with holiday demand. However, she says another concern is stress on staff if delays do start to happen. Despite this, she remains optimistic, saying the small personal experience is something national and global retailers just cannot sell. Let's head over to Wall Street now this Thursday. The Dow closes down today more than 60 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But coming up on First at 4, green beer is something you usually only see around St. Patrick's Day, but one brewery is hoping people will drink it year-round.
And we're heading back into the 30s overnight as cold weather filters in. I'll have the full breakdown on the way.